Hi here, we're on lesson 12.2, Customary Units of Length. Now if you need to pause me so you can grab your Go Math book, please do so. We are on page 647. Now, customary is kind of like, in other words, special, specially made, specially used. And in the United States and one other country, we use this way to measure. In other parts of the world, we use what's called the metric system. Now, with us, we use our customary units of length. So you have heard the term before, inches, foot. Now, out of this whole page, the thing I want you to get out the most is this, that, well, we would normally be in class able to cut these out like the picture. But since we are at home and we're doing distance learning, I want you to really get what's out of this, is that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches. And as you can see here, it's equivalent to 1 foot. So 1 foot equals 12 inches. Now I want you to remember that 12 inches are in 1 foot. So it says down here, 1 foot is 12 times as long as 1 inch. So pretty much in fancy words, this is saying it takes 12 inches to equal 1 foot. Now go ahead and go to the next page. Emma has 4 feet of thread. She needs 50 inches of thread to make some bracelets. How can she determine if she has enough thread to make the bracelets? Alright, so we're going to use our cubes method. In class, remember this stands for circle the numbers, underline the question. How can she determine if she has enough thread to make the bracelets? Box the keywords. So we have feet, we have inches, and we have enough thread. And then we are going to evaluate the question and solve. So on the other page, we determined that 1 foot equals 12 inches. Now, in the story problem, it's telling us that we have 4 feet. Now, this is where us learning multiplication really comes in handy. So, pretty much, it's saying instead of 1 foot for every 12 inches, we actually have 4 1-foot pieces. So that's pretty much doing what? 4 times 12, because we have 4 12-inch pieces. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So I realized that I made a tiny little mistake here. Instead of drawing a 2, I wrote a 1. So sometimes you make mistakes. Good math learners realize, oops, I made a mistake, right? So 4 times 2, as we know, would be 8. So 4 plus 8, 40 plus 8 is 48. So we know that 4 times 12 is 48. So 4 feet equals 48 inches. And that's where us knowing our multiplication really makes a difference. And that's why we were practicing to be math masters. So let's go back to this table here. So now we need to know for every 1 foot, we have 12 inches. So now we're going to now that we know if we have 2 feet, that means I have 2 12-inch pieces. And we should know that 12 plus 12, or 12 times 2 is 24. Now I want you to pause and I want you to try to answer these next 3 on your own, and then push play to check your answers. You should have gotten 36, 48, and 60. Because over here, 2 feet times 12 is 24. 3 feet times 12 is 36. 4 feet times 12 is 48. And 5 feet times 12 is 60. Now, each time I want you to realize that it's just pretty much saying that you have 2 12-inch pieces. You have 3 12-inch pieces. You have 4 12-inch pieces and 5 12-inch pieces. So essentially it is 5 times 12. Now 4 feet, as we did over here, was 48 inches. And over here is 50 inches. So now we're going to do the less than, greater than. We know that 48 is less than 50. So Emma has 4 feet, which is 48 inches of thread. She needs 50 inches. So 4 feet is less than 50 inches. So Emma does not, or doesn't, have enough thread to make the bracelets. Now I want you to pause and I want you to try to answer this question right here. Now I've written here, yes, 5 feet equals 5 times 12 because we have 5 12-inch pieces, which would equal 60. So 60 is greater than 50, and we would have needed 50 inches, so she would have enough. So we do know that this is how you solve the problem. If you have so many feet, that means you have 12 inches for every foot. Now go ahead and go to the next page. So again, out of this whole lesson, what I want you to understand, this vocabulary is so important. 1 foot equals 12 inches. Okay? But for every 3 feet that you collect, you get 1 yard. Okay? So if you think about it, that means you have 3 12-inch pieces. And we know that 3 times 12 equals 36. And that's how you get 36 inches in 1 yard. Now, it says compare the size of a yard to the size of a foot. Use this model to help. So here's our yard. And we know that it has 12 inches, which is 1 foot, which is another 1 foot, and another 1 foot. So if you think about it, it's 12 inches, 12 inches, and 12 inches. So 1 yard is 3 times, because if you look at this, as long as 1 foot. Now, take a look at these. It says 2 feet equals how many inches? Now, if we look, remember, 1 foot equals 12 inches. Remember how I told you to keep that in mind and let it sink into your brain on the last page? We need to really know this. But if you have 2 feet, that means you have 2 12-inch pieces. So essentially, this is what? 2 times 12, which is 24. 3 yards. So pay attention to the vocabulary. 3 yards. So we know that 1 yard is 3 feet. But we have 3 yards. So that's going to be 3 times 3 feet, which gives us 9. I know this is kind of a little bit tricky to wrap your head around, but I know you can do it. So 7 yards. Well, we know that there's 3 feet in 1 yard. Now we have 7 yards equals how many feet? We have to fill in the blank. Well, we already know, so pretty much instead of 1, we have a 7. So then we take 7 times 3, which gives us 21. So we know that there's 21 there. Alright, so we're going to go on to the on your own part, which is a little down the page. Now I want you to remember that the measurements from before. So remember, we know that 1 yard, we know that 1 yard equals 3 feet from the other page, or the top of the page. Now, remember, now we have 4 yards. We need to figure out how many feet. So we should know, if you replace this with a 4, you know that 4 times 3 gives us 12. So this is 12 feet. There are 12 feet in 4 yards. Again, we do something similar. 10 yards equals how many feet? Well, we know that 10 times 3 is 30. So this would be 30 feet. I want you to pause and try to figure out this one on your own. I'll set it up for you. So again, we take the 7, put it here. So it's like 7 times 12, which is 84. Alright. So I want you to try the rest of the page on your own without my help. Pause it and then you can check your answers. And here are your answers. You can go ahead and check my work compared to yours. Remember what I always said. If you make a mistake, it's okay. Please don't erase it. You just mark it wrong and rewrite the correct answers next to it so that you can realize how you went about that way and what you need to do to correct that. Now you're going to go on to the next page, practice and homework. Now, again, the ones that you need to know is that 1 foot equals 12 inches, 3 feet, I should actually write it the other way. 3 feet equals 1 yard, and 1 yard equals 36 inches as well. So 1 yard could be 3 feet, and 1 yard can be 36 inches. Because if you think about it, if it's 3 feet, that means that there's 3 1-foot pieces, which is 3 12-inch pieces. So as you can look at this, you do your assignment, and you know that there's 2 yards, and you're going to be using, now they want to know how many feet. So you're going to be using this one. So you have to look at each one. 8 feet and inches. So you know you're going to be using this one. 7 yards to feet. Yards, feet. So again, you're going to be using this one. So refer back to this chart. Try this page on your own. And then pause. And check your answers. And here are the answers to the top part. Now I know that's a lot and you're like, whoa. But pretty much what I'm telling you is that you're multiplying 2 times 3 on this one. Because you're saying you have 2 3 feet pieces. And that's 2 times 3, which equals 6. So hopefully this makes sense to you. Check your answers. And we're going to scroll down. I'm going to read these problems to you. Then you can pause and try to solve. And check your answers. Carla had 2 lengths of ribbon. One ribbon is 2 feet long. The other ribbon is 30 inches long. Which length of ribbon is longer? A football player gained 2 yards on one play. On the next play, he gained 5 feet. Was his gain greater on the first or the second play? Explain. Now, number 13, write a problem that can be solved by comparing feet and inches using a model. Include a solution. Now, this one is just for you to try for fun. I'm going to go ahead and reveal the answers now. So go ahead and pause. And there are your answers. Have a great day.